WWE Smackdown Here Comes the Pain is widely regarded as one of the best professional wrestling video games of all time. Yuke has been teasing a lot of stuff going on right now, and it looks like we could be getting another Here Comes the Pain wrestling video game. What's going on, everybody? TonyPizzaGuy here, back again, and today we need to talk about WWE Here Comes the Pain, the success of that game, and what Yuke is actually working on in regards to Here Comes the Pain. So a while back, we actually talked about it, and Yuke was working on a brand new wrestling video game. They went as far as to put out a press release by themselves to actually start working on something brand new. They have all this cool tech that they want to utilize. They have a lot of AR technology, which is augmented reality, that they want to use to make a better professional wrestling video game. They're saying right now with the 2K series, they are getting burned out. The developers aren't very happy. People are upset. They don't really know what direction that the 2K games are going, and they just kind of want to step away, do their own thing, and they have a dedicated team to doing that. Well, it looks like things are getting even bigger because Bryan Williams actually tweeted out some very interesting things. If you're not familiar with Bryan Williams, he was actually working with the WWE Games franchise. He was there during the THQ days. I think what his role really was working with the American Yuke department and the Japanese Yuke department and kind of mending those fences to kind of create the game. So he was kind of like the in-between guy. So, you know, that there's a translation, a lost in translation, I guess we could say, of like trying to get the American and the Japanese Yuke department to communicate with 2K to actually work on the game that they want to complete. So what it would be is he would be that guy that would be there to help put all that together. That's really what his role was. He says he's the game design supervisor employed by Yuke. So that's literally what his bio says. Now, before, I'm just reading off of this, I'm just going into it. His bio actually said he worked with WWE 2K, but now it just says Yuke for pro wrestling video games. So I don't know what's really going on. I'm going to read into this though. I'm going to say that he's like now all Yuke in that new Yuke game that they're doing. I think that he's in that and he has nothing to do with the 2K game. But again, I don't really know. I'm just going off what his bio said on Twitter. So game design supervisor employed by Yuke. So that's what his role is. He's kind of that guy that's going to fill in and make sure that the supervising is going on correctly. The games are going the way that they want. And he was kind of like that because he's American. So he's going to be that American bond for the Japanese people when it comes to the Yuke's 2K thing. But now he looks like he's just doing his own thing. But I don't know. I'm just going off of his Twitter bio and what I actually see there. So I'm guessing that that's what he's actually doing. So he actually put out a few interesting tweets, and I wanted to take a look at those. So the first tweet that he put out was, I just finished week 1 of 2 in Japan. Me and my dope coworkers at Yuke are working on something amazing for you guys. I'm celebrating this first week by hitting up 2 G1 shows this weekend. I love my freaking job so much. So what we can read off of this is that he is actually in Japan for 2 weeks with Yuke, trying to put something down for a game. He says that they're working on something amazing for us. So that means that that press release that was actually put out by Yuke, Bryan Williams is directly involved with that. And let me just tell you, Bryan Williams goes back to the Corey Ledesma days. Like, he was one of the good THQ. He was one of the good guys in the community. So this is a guy that you really want on our side for making a wrestling game. So I don't know, again, what the Yuke is cooking up, but that's what they actually say. But that's not it, because they actually have more that Bryan actually tweeted out. He comes back and says, had a great day at the office today. I basically had a 6-hour meeting with my coworkers discussing plans for a project that I hope becomes a reality. We played a lot of Smackdown Here Comes the Pain today. That's where things get interesting, because he said that they played a lot of Smackdown Here Comes the Pain. Smackdown Here Comes the Pain, widely regarded as the best wrestling game of all time. Now people fight over No Mercy and Here Comes the Pain, but that doesn't matter because they're both great games in their own right. Smackdown Here Comes the Pain is one of the greatest games. We need to kind of talk about why that game is so great, and then we'll speculate on what is actually being on here. So Smackdown Here Comes the Pain was a great game for many different reasons. And one of the main reasons is because it was just very fun And the action was very fast paced and it was easy to pick up and play. The game overall was just very, 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 very fun. Again, I want to stress that fun because that's really what it was all about. It was about putting out a fun product, fast gameplay. You can pick up, you can play, you can have a good time. It was at a great roster. And that's what made that game amazing. You could do all kinds of crazy things like climb up the Smackdown fist, jump off WWF New York. There was so much to do in that game. And that's what made it great. It was just brings back all those fond memories from my childhood. So if you never played Smackdown Here Comes the Pain, I urge you to go check that out. See if you can find a copy of that. Play that game however you can do it. Just check it out and play that game. So what Bryan has been saying is that they have a brand new project with Yuke's, which I'm assuming what he's talking about is that Yuke's press release where they said they wanted to devote a whole new division to creating a brand new wrestling game. That's what I'm thinking they're working on. And when it comes to Smackdown Here Comes the Pain, there's two things that they could be doing here, right? One, they could be working on a remastered version of Here Comes the Pain. Remastering video games is something that is very popular nowadays. You think of COD Remastered that they did, COD 4 Remastered, and how they just updated the graphics and added some new gameplay elements to it. Well, that's something you could very well do with Here Comes the Pain. What they would have to do with Here Comes the Pain that would make it different from a Call of Duty game is that some of the people on the roster, the license that they have for the WWE, they can't get all those people. And some of those people like Chris Benoit that's in Here Comes the Pain, they probably don't want to include him in Here Comes the Pain remastered if that's something they're doing. So what I would suggest that they would do if they're going to make a remastered version of Smackdown Here Comes the Pain, they would just take a modern spin on that. They could use that engine. They could just update the graphics to make them HD and then add the brand new roster to the game. Now, I don't know what that's going to take, how long that would actually take to make if they were going to remaster it. I would love to see a remastered version of this game. I'd love to see a remastered version of No Mercy. There's a huge modding community out there for the WWE AKI games, and I think remastering a game, putting it out there, literally take one of these games, remaster it, put the current roster on it, put it out there for $10 downloadable, $20 max, you got yourself cash cow. You're going to be raking in the money there. Like literally, you want buckets of money? That's what you do. You remaster these games, you have them come out, and people would buy it. People would love to buy that. So just remaster it. If they do that, that would be something. On the other side, what they could be doing is working on a totally brand new video game. Now, what I'm looking at here when I'm looking at Bryan's profile, right? Like I said, a couple days ago, it said something about 2K and how he worked there, but now it just says Yuke specifically. Now, I don't have any insider knowledge. I don't know any details that you guys don't know, but I'm going off pure speculation. What it looks like here is that Yuke is getting tired of working on the WWE 2K game, so he decided to make a whole new division dedicated on working on a brand new game. Bryan Williams looks like he is no longer a part of that 2K division. Now, I don't know that. I'm just going off of his bio. So I don't know that for a fact. This is my guess. 100% speculation here, okay? If I know these details, I will let you know when I know. But what I know is that he removed that from his bio. So it looks like he's just straight Yuke's here. And his tweets are telling me that he's doing Yuke stuff. So it looks like he's doing something brand new other than the WWE 2K stuff. Now, back in the day when I talked to developers from the 2K, they had actually told me that their main goal was to actually completely make the games in their own studio. This was like years ago. So I don't know what progress they made on that, how it's working. But what I heard back in the day was that they wanted to make everything in 2K studios. If you know, they have the NBA 2K people. They have a lot of programmers, people, developers, all that. So for 2K to take it over and try to make it in studio, that's something they could definitely do. I don't put that past them at all. I seriously do think that that is something that they could definitely do, but they had that tie with Yuke. So again, I don't really know how it all works and how it is to take a game engine from one company, which would be Yuke's, and put it over to 2K and have them work on it. And if they have some crossover people or whatever, again, I don't know any of that info, but what it looks like is Bryan Williams, game design supervisor, looking at Here Comes the Pain stuff because it is one of the best games of all time. And they're going to be using that knowledge on research and development. Why was this game so much fun? Why do people love it? Why was it so easy to pick up and play? Those kind of things that people want, they're going to take that research and they're going to put that towards a new game and say, okay, well, this was good. It was fast paced. They had a cool soundtrack. They had, just all the options, right? Whatever they want to cherry pick from that game, they definitely will, and they could put that into a brand new game. So I think that's more likely on what they're going to do is take the knowledge from Here Comes the Pain, learn what was good, learn what was bad, learn how the moves worked, how all this worked, to say, okay, so this is what people really liked. This stuff. These were the golden age of video games. No Mercy, Here Comes the Pain. If you could just look at both of those games and figure out, okay, why were these so good? Why were they so amazing? Why are they the best wrestling games of all time? Why are they just so fun to play? Even WWE All-Stars, I still regard that as top tier WWE game. But if you can take all that knowledge and go, okay, this is what makes the game fun. This is what people want. Let's do that.